Hunting wild boars in Virginia is not a walk in the park. It is a real battle of wits between humans and the notoriously stubborn and cunning wild boar herds. As a hunter who has tracked them many times in the dense forests of southern Virginia, I know well, this is an experience not for the faint-hearted. Every time I raise my gun, the tension reaches its peak, a place where patience, skill, and courage are all tested to their limits. We checked our guns and ammunition one last time before entering the area that had been previously scouted. No one spoke much, only the crunch of footsteps on dry leaves and the steadily rising heartbeat as the hunt drew near. There it is. It seems the hunting dogs have found the prey. I focused on listening to locate the echoing barks, gripping my gun tightly, and getting ready to shoot. As soon as the wild boar was driven down from the hillside, I didn't hesitate to pull the trigger. The boar collapsed right under a tree trunk. In the forest, caution is never too much. When crossing a forest path, a hunter's instinct suddenly kicked in, so I stopped and silently ambushed. Sure enough, just minutes later, the next prey appeared. It dashed out from the other side of the path, sprinting right in front of me. I startled and raised my gun to fire. Unfortunately, this shot was a bit rushed. The bullet only grazed the boar, which managed to disappear into the bushes on this side of the path. A true escape for it. One failure only made me more determined to hunt down the other destructive beasts. Not long after the chance to redeem myself came, a whole herd of wild boars ran across in front of me. One separated from the group and unfortunately stepped into my sights. A precise shot that brought the target down immediately. Another trophy in hand. I moved south to regroup with the other hunters. A large herd of wild boars appeared on the opposite side. Michael fired the opening shot. The herd immediately changed direction and fled. I quickly fired a second shot, but didn't hit any. The gunshot only panicked the herd more, driving them into the dense trees behind us. From our current position, tracking them was nearly impossible. Besides, the herd consisted mainly of piglets and medium-sized boars, not worth risking a chase. We decided to stop and conserve energy for more worthy targets. Afternoon is the hardest time to track wild boar trails. The team quietly led the hunting dogs, spreading out in multiple directions to increase chances of spotting prey. Wow, a fairly large male boar suddenly appeared. My heart rate soared. In a flash, a dry gunshot echoed, shattering the silence. The boar startled and darted away, but its escape effort only bought it a little more time. The pack of hunting dogs soon chased it to exhaustion, the perfect moment for me to raise my gun again and decisively pull the trigger. The boar tumbled and lay motionless. The tense chase was over. Because the way back was quite far, we decided to retreat early instead of prolonging the hunt until late afternoon as usual. However, before leaving the area, the team had another unexpected encounter with a wild boar. From a thick bush by the roadside, the boar suddenly charged out. I tried to get closer, held the gun steady, and fired repeatedly. After a few misses, the boar was finally hit and thrashed near the roadside. Beyond our original plan, the team stopped the vehicle at a large olive grove on the way back. I had heard local residents report that wild boars appeared quite often in this area. There are bushes, water, and plenty of fallen olives here, providing shelter and abundant food for boars to hide and breed. This concludes today's hunting journey. Did this trip excite you? Leave your thoughts in the comments. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more thrilling hunts. Setting foot in the vast forests of the Pyrenees in France, I couldn't find a single moment of peace. Herds of wild boars rampaged relentlessly, tearing through the local farmers' agricultural land. This destruction had gone on for far too long, and I knew that only by confronting the problem head-on could the situation be brought under control. However, hunting wild boars here is no easy task. These animals are incredibly intelligent and know how to evade human pursuit. They can hide deep within dense thickets, turning the hunt into a challenge that demands precision, patience, and sometimes a bit of luck. As usual, the hunt began at dawn. The dense forest floor was covered in dry leaves, making it extremely difficult to track the wild boars. We had to split up and ambush from multiple directions, thoroughly sweeping each tree base and every patch of forest, leaving no corner unchecked. When a wild boar entered my line of sight, I immediately seized the opportunity, raised my gun, aimed carefully, and decisively pulled the trigger. One clean shot, and the boar collapsed on the spot. Our first trophy was in the bag. Though the start wasn't too bad, the lack of hunting dogs made it much harder to continue tracking more prey. After some discussion, we decided to move to a more open area which would be better for observation and ambush. Before long, a small boar dashed down from the hilltop and entered our sight. I quickly raised my gun and fired. The first shot only wounded it, and in a panic, it rammed into a wooden post and kept running. Without hesitation, I fired several more rounds. Finally, one bullet hit a vital spot, and the animal collapsed at the foot of the hill. Around noon, I wandered along the hillside for over an hour, hoping to find new tracks. And finally, patience paid off. A herd of wild boars was quietly weaving through the thick bushes. My rule, when facing a herd, is always to aim for the alpha. With one decisive shot, the lead boar fell. While the rest of the herd was still stunned, I quickly shifted my aim and fired at the ones nearby. Ironically, just as I was feeling regret for a few missed shots, the unexpected happened. The lead boar started to crawl and then staggered down the slope. This was no time to give up, otherwise all the effort since morning would be in vain, and deep forests don't let anyone stay distracted for long. The next encounter came sooner than I expected. That's hunting for me. Sometimes it takes hours of patience just to wait for a single moment of confrontation. Other times, the prey appears suddenly without warning. If you're not calm and focused enough to react instantly, all you can do is helplessly watch it vanish back into the wild. Still, the hunt had to go on. By late afternoon, I hadn't encountered another herd. While sweeping near a trail, a lone wild boar emerged. Sensing danger, it bolted uphill. I tightened my grip on the gun, calculated its path, fired, but missed. Luck wasn't on my side this time. The sun had set, and we were walking along the trail back to our rendezvous point. Just when we thought the hunt would end in disappointment, one last chance presented itself. A suspicious rustling came from a dense bush near the roadside. I strained my ears and readied myself to shoot. The sound drew closer. A boar suddenly burst out of the underbrush, sprinting across the path. There was no time to think. I pulled the trigger immediately, but the boar managed to escape. I rushed over to check, only to find it had already vanished into the thick shrubs. At the end of the trip, we brought the wild boars we'd hunted back to the rendezvous point. Though the day didn't go exactly as hoped, no one was discouraged. Every hunt is another opportunity to gain experience. There were disappointments and regrets, but also lessons learned and resilience forged. What did you think of the hunt? Share your thoughts and comments, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to follow more thrilling chases. Texas is home to the largest population of feral hogs in the United States, estimated at nearly 3 million, causing nearly $100 million in damage to the agricultural sector each year. In response, Texas has resorted to everything from trapping and gun hunting to more daring methods, chasing wild hogs by helicopter. This measure is not only an effort to control the herd, but has also become popular as an adventure tourism service for shooters who love challenges. Of course, not everyone can participate. Pilots need a valid Federal Aviation Administration pilot license, and shooters like me need a specialized license, such as an aerial wildlife management permit. With all the necessary paperwork and careful preparation, we began our trip. The weather today is quite nice, clear, little wind and light sunshine, perfect for a helicopter hunt. From above, I could see dense tracks of wild boars running across the sand. Then a herd of about 10 pigs came into view. I signaled the pilot to lower altitude, raised my gun, and pulled the trigger repeatedly. One by one, the pigs were hit, falling down one by one on the run. It couldn't have been a better start. Still excited, the pilot suddenly pointed to the northeast. Another flock appeared. Then the gun was loaded again. The helicopter glided low. I calmly aimed, starting with the last ones in the line. Each shot was decisive. A new batch of prey was taken down. Started to move into an area with sparse bushes, but still open enough to observe. Wild boars were extremely alert and slow to react to the air. So, once I spotted my prey, especially those running alone, it took me less than 2 minutes to finish them off cleanly. I strained my eyes to find every trace. Then suddenly, another herd appeared. It seems that the helicopter's low altitude to reduce glare caused a lot of noise, which alerted the pigs. They immediately scattered and ran in different directions, making aiming difficult. I thought the drama had died down, but as the helicopter tilted into a new curve, I caught a glimpse of a pig in the middle of the open field. Immediately, the pilot tilted the helicopter slightly towards the target. I seized the opportunity, steadied my gun, and pulled the trigger. Most of our last few minutes, as the helicopter hunt only lasted until dusk. I aimed at the largest leader and pulled the trigger. I successfully took down the prey with just one shot. Meanwhile, my friend Jake had already managed to kill a few other members of the pack. Here. How do you feel about today's hunt? Leave your comments in the comment section, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to follow the next dramatic hunts. Having been a hunter for many years, I've experienced quite a few thrilling chases. But stepping foot in Louisiana for the first time, everything still made me restless and excited like a rookie. The air here was thick with the smell of damp earth, dry leaves rustling beneath my feet, and wild sounds occasionally echoing from afar. I knew I was about to enter a hunt unlike any I'd experienced before. We had carefully planned the hunt for several days, and now it was time to officially begin. First, the whole team took advantage of early morning to check the bait traps. In Louisiana, hunting laws are very strict, especially regarding mechanical traps that can injure animals. Therefore, bait traps are still widely used and considered more legal. Look over there, a herd of wild boars. Busily rooting around the trap. My heart rate spiked. I raised my gun, aimed at the boar standing closest to the edge for the best shot, then squeezed the trigger. The shot rang out, and the boar collapsed instantly. The rest scattered in panic. It was a bit disappointing to take down only one, but such a start wasn't bad at all. Leaving the trap area, I happened to come across a deep waterhole with a few wild boars lingering nearby. Though not very large in size, each one looked plump and healthy, enough to stir the hunter's blood in me. However, these creatures were incredibly sensitive and alert. Even the slightest noise would set them off, and they'd scatter before I had any chance to take aim. In the end, I decided to climb up a high hunting stand to lie in wait. One wild boar slowly approached the stand, unaware of the danger ahead. This was my chance. I quickly raised my gun and fired, but the shot missed, and the lucky boar managed to escape. A gentle start like that was enough. I climbed down from the stand and began to carry my rifle deeper into the forest, searching for traces of other boars. It didn't take long before the next target appeared. Today was truly a lucky day for me. I kept running into one group after another. This time, I couldn't rush it. I quietly raised my gun, held my breath, focused my eyes for a perfect aim, and pulled the trigger. A single clean shot, the boar crashed down hard, lying stiff on the forest floor. By the afternoon, the whole team decided to change tactics. We drove an airboat to hunt wild boars out in the fields. I sat on the deck of the boat, clutching my gun tightly and scanning every nook and cranny. There it was, a boar appeared on the right without any signal. My friend Ash immediately steered in that direction, waiting until the boat ran parallel to the prey. With a perfect aim, I didn't hesitate to pull the trigger. The shot didn't instantly take down the boar, but it wounded it badly enough that it jumped up, then lay thrashing until it was exhausted. Just look at its size, clearly a formidable pest. Luckily, today we managed to take it down. Driving an airboat to hunt wild boars in the fields is definitely an experience you must try in Louisiana. Unlike the tension in every step through the forest, the vast open fields become a playground of speed and reflexes. The roaring engine and the sound of digging into the ground easily alert the boars and make them flee, so there's no room for hesitation. As soon as the prey shows up, we have to aim quickly and squeeze the trigger in a split second. One missed shot and the boars will slip into the tall grass and disappear immediately. Ash steered the airboat to another, less dense area. The hunters in the team split up, each watching a different direction. 15 minutes passed in silence when suddenly Harry stood up and pointed forward. A small wild boar was glimpsed in the distance. A burst of gunfire rang out. The target was completely taken down. So another boar's carcass was loaded onto the boat. The hunt ended with results beyond expectations. Although the whole team was exhausted, everyone was filled with excitement. Louisiana did not disappoint. Wild boars, the experience, and the feeling of satisfaction after each successful shot are truly hard to describe in words. How do you feel about today's hunt? Leave your thoughts in the comments. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to follow more thrilling hunts.
Last week, a few friends and I scheduled a night hunting trip to support and contribute to the campaign to control the increasing number of wild boars. Everything was going well until things got out of hand. Do you want to know what happened to us? It was a normal hunting trip. We, a group of experienced hunters, were informed about a herd of giant wild boars raging near the western forest. These animals not only destroyed crops, but also posed a danger to local people. Our mission was to take down the most dangerous individuals and control the growth of the herd. We split into two groups. One group ambushed near the edge of forest. The other group moved slowly deeper inside, using bait to lure the herd out. The first noise came from the left. A huge herd suddenly rushed out from the bushes. They were less than 5 meters away from me. I immediately got into position, adjusted my scope, and in the dark, I quietly opened fire, taking down each target. But this was just the beginning. The sound of gunfire caused the herd of wild boars to become agitated. From all 4 directions, we heard growling and rapid footsteps. At this time, the long-range sniper tactic came into play. Each accurate shot took down an enemy. The bullets were not unlimited, and the number of wild boars was still too large. Night is the right time for wild boars to be active. They appear more and more. Taking advantage of the darkness, they sneak through the gaps in the fence to break into the farm. With their wild instincts, they constantly dig and turn over layers of soil. Recognizing the intrusion, we immediately deployed a combat plan. From hiding position, the whole team quickly took action, taking down each target, temporarily stopping the danger. However, to protect the farm, stronger measures are needed. If we continue to confront them head-on, we will soon be exhausted, and the wild boars are becoming more and more cunning. Therefore, the plan needs to be changed. This time, instead of lurking in the dark, we decided to use bait, a type of grain with an attractive scent, attracting the pigs to a certain location. As expected, the scent quickly spread in the air. Each wild boar smelled the food, crawled over one by one, and devoured it without realizing that they had fallen into a trap. Everything was carefully calculated. We waited patiently, seizing the perfect opportunity. When the right moment came, a series of accurate bullets rang out, and each target was taken down one by one. A battle without chasing, but the effect was beyond expectation. With the support of the silencer system, each shot rang out quietly, without causing any alarm. The other wild boars were still busy looking for the bait, completely unaware of the life and death battle that was taking place right before their eyes. Any target that entered the grain-covered area was quickly taken down. No more tense pursuits, no more exhausting captures. This time, they themselves had walked into the trap. wild boars appeared everywhere. Monsters weighing no less than 150 kilograms were clearly visible through the scope. They were too engrossed in their search, losing their vigilance. And that was the opportunity to act. Gently, quickly, decisively, a series of accurate bullets rang out silently, and in an instant, 3 giant wild boars fell one after another. A decisive blow, perfect to the last second. Adjusting the aim, about 50 meters away, another herd of wild boars had just appeared. Black shadows moved in the darkness, but that couldn't trouble us. Without hesitation, I fixed my aim on the largest boar in the herd, the powerful leader. A slow breath. Pull the trigger. The shot rang out. The leader of the wild boar herd collapsed. Immediately, the herd fell into a state of panic, running away in panic towards the deep forest. At least for a while, they would not dare to come near this area again. The final battle ended. In total, 30 wild boars were taken down, an impressive number, but also a warning about their uncontrolled proliferation. Do you feel excited about this hunting trip? Leave your comments in the comment section, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to watch more dramatic hunts.